With the current state of MMORPGs, many players are wondering which new games will make it and how long our nostalgic favorites will last. Today, we are diving into the current landscape of MMORPGs.
So welcome to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your hosts, GB and Vertec, discuss MMORPGs and important topics spoken about within the communities. At the tavern, we invite you, the viewer, and a special guest or two to grab a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. Today is the... Sorry, I'm dying.
Oh no.
I was shoving food in my face right before going live. Yeah, today's the 7th of March, 2026. We are in episode 250. Let's start again. And yeah, these are traveling bards for the night. Aura and Bean.
Welcome in.
Hi.
And how are you doing there?
Hello.
Oh, all right. And
Yes, how are you
Chibi,
guys
what do we have
doing?
on tap for the night?
Well, we're gonna first chat with our bards for a little bit, and then we'll dive into some community topics, actually, from within the MMORPG community. I grabbed a lot of these from r/MMORPG this time around, but a lot of these are happening. I did not necessarily select them only, but a lot of the hot topics happen to be around a lot of the games that are on our tier list. So a lot of you have been wondering, what are our plans? What are we intending on doing? And what's happening next? And we intend on answering that, as well as introducing you to our lovely artificers, aka our moderators. So, Bean, why don't you go ahead and first introduce yourself?
Hi. And to answer Verdec's question, I'm coming off of being sick, so apologies for the tone of voice. It is not as great as I wish it was.
Oh, good. We'll try to forgive you later. We'll see what happens.
I'm Bean. I do Bean things. That's usually how I introduce myself most of the time. I stream, I play video games, and I mainly just hang out at the tavern because it's a great place. But if you would like to see that, hi everybody. If you would like to see me and my content, you can go to my link tree. It has all my things, because I also do art. So if you like my VTuber and the art behind me, because, you know, coming through a portal to the tavern always sucks. I always keep the background, even if I don't want to. But if you like me and my art, I do sell it. You can have some. I made some for the tavern. It's not on this screen, but I have seen it around. So yeah,
it is on some of our starting soon screens. But I would just like to imagine you are currently in like the portal, and that's how we're viewing you. It's like a window into like
probably.
space.
Just put a frame up. It'll look like intentional art.
There you go. And Aura.
Hello, I am Aura Frostline. I am the multiversal wandering bard, a poet, a storyteller, and overall nuisance to whoever I can get to spend more than 5 seconds with me. You can find me in various wormholes and portals in different places. I appear and disappear based off my mood and the whims of the universe. I've made wonderful connections and wonderful friends by wandering around, honestly holding, like, just talking to people, getting to know them. And, you know, as the topic is MMOs, as I'm sure it probably most of the time is, it's a very good spot to connect with people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it would be great to kind of start off with a baseline. So for those that have followed us, you kind of know our idea of what kind of MMOs we came from, what our history with MMORPGs are. But since we're introducing you two, what is your experience with MMORPGs? And for those that are joining us for the first time on episode 250, we have done the previous 249 episodes on Ashes of Creation, so we're kind of coming from that lens of going into the MMORPG genre and looking at what else is out there now that, unfortunately, Vera's gateway has closed. So, Bean, if you want to start us off with that, what is your experience with MMORPGs and how did you get into them?
Well, firstly, I quote Ashes as my first ever MMO, really. I did play some here and there, Final Fantasy 14 being one of them, and New Worlds, but I don't really count those because I didn't stick with them for very long, where I have a lot of hours that I put into Ashes. That's really it. I've never really gotten into MMOs as a concept until fairly recently when I met some really cool friends that went, hey, what if you tried this? And now I have more friends. So that's always fun. But I've known of them, that it's just a newer thing for me to try to play.
That's fair. What about you, Aura?
I am one of those ancient eldritch horrors of the MMO community that people talk about, who I've played MMOs since Adventure Quest was considered an MMO. Before, like, I was playing MMOs long before RuneScape was a dream, before those days. My current tally and body count of MMOs is about over 300, almost half of which no longer exist, and the traces of them exist in dead hard drives somewhere in my house.
Kind of like WildStar, unfortunately.
WildStar was a sad time for me because my guild leader from Guild Wars 2 absolutely loved it and dragged all of us over there for a while until it imploded, and then we went back to Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a team trying to resurrect it, but who knows how far they'll get. And once they get as far as they want to go, if they'll get some kind of cease and desist down the line, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Look,
Did you have any questions?
If the Undead Duel can be resurrected, even WildStar can.
Fair. Vertek, I was going to ask if you had any questions that you wanted to ask now, or if you're still pondering them, because I have plenty in my chamber. So.
Fire away, fire away.
Okay,
I'll sneak
sounds
one in
good.
once in a while.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I share a little bit. All right, so what kind of MMORPG? It's okay if you don't know, because especially in Bean's case, you don't really have too much experience with MMORPGs, but remove the barrier of MMORPG and think about like RPGs that you have played or other like tabletop type games that you've played. Based on other games, what would be an ideal MMORPG for you if you had to pick a couple of systems that were like really important to you?
It's a very good question.
I was gonna say, like the game, or am I like making up my own?
Just no, like you don't have to pick it's not about any specific game. It's about like in your ideal mind, if there were to be an MMORPG that existed that had these systems, that would be your ideal MMORPG. Like, for example, for mine, like really good crafting, especially in the term of like alchemy and herbalism, and then really nice hardcore raiding or dungeons, and then really good like in-depth immersive story.
Stop taking my things. I'm only like one thing different. Stop this. I do really like crafting, and it needs to, for me specifically, and something I learned from Ashes, is I need to, as somebody that is a primary crafter, feel like I'm helping my guild, even if I can't be on 24/7. The rich story, yes, it doesn't have to be questline based, but I at least need to know that there is an actual story for me to discover. Because you can just be like, hey, there's these cool ruins, wonder what they are, and you're like, oh well, I have questions, they need answers, what do you mean?
Yeah.
The only other thing I think I would say, specifically more because of TTRPGs and stuff, is I'd like a good role play functionality, whether that's like actual emotes or a place to do that, especially if you can customize what your armor looks like outside of the stats of it, like the cosmetic side. And stuff like that, because then you can do it's one of the things that, spoilers, of why I really liked Final Fantasy 14 is because they had the fashion shows and the specific places for people to go do RP things that wasn't intruding on people just playing the game, but it was cool to see in the distance, and it was very welcoming if you wanted to join them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think fashion is definitely the end game for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
The end game for most MMOs.
Fair, but I feel like especially so in Final Fantasy 14, like they have nothing I've ever seen before in terms of fashion.
I've been kicked from raids due to my poor fashion skills in 14. So yeah, I guess so.
Wait, you can? Oh my gosh. I've never experienced that.
I'll have to look. I'll save that story for later because that's a long story. But
you'll have to tell me later.
I have been kicked from a raid group because my fashion sucked.
Oh my
god! I just want to look at my friends, especially because they always put out the like really skimpy armor, and everyone I know that wears that is a dude. And I'm always like, "Do you feel bonita?" Every time, and I need to do that. That's a need that I have. I log in next to them, and I'm like, "Do you feel bonita today?"
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was almost expecting you, by the way, being to come out with like, well, the MMO must have small doors, and also need to be able to draw my own art for the house. And
Strudels,
no.
Strudels wants you to know that Strudels feels bonita.
It's important. I need to know if you feel bonita, and I won't know if you don't change your cosmetics. How will I know?
Exactly. What about you, Aura? What things do you feel are an essential part of an MMORPG that like your ideal MMO would have in it?
My ideal MMO starts with the core foundation of what makes all MMOs good. Grouping features, guilds, parties, clans, whatever you want to call
that social aspect
feature. Yeah. If you don't have that, just stop already. If it's not like I don't care if you can fly, I don't care if you can kill an enemy. If I cannot party up and guild up and do all the guild things I need to with my friends, just delete your game. Like, it's not worth continuing. Like, genuinely,
is it really an MMO at that point? Yeah,
exactly. That for me is the most core fundamentals, and how you do it's irrelevant. Like, as long as it works well with your MMO. Like, a good example of like good guild design is things like Guild Wars 2 with it is built around everybody is always in a party. So you can be in 6 guilds all at once. You can represent only one at a time to be like, I present as this guild. But you have 6 groups of friends. There's party systems, squad systems, and they all serve different purposes. And it's all very easy to like connect with. And the game, generally speaking, has like good processes for that. Another there's other guilds that all it is oh hey, this is a roster of people that all are friends and there's nothing else to it, and that's perfectly okay. Like, as if that's all you need, like that's all you need. Beyond go ahead. I was gonna say, beyond the basics of like just social systems though, let's assume like all games actually ascribe to trying to have social features. Some of the main core features I like is good movement abilities and features, where I don't want it to feel like a chore going from point A to point B. I don't care if it takes 5 hours, if it's fun. A good example is BDO is probably like the most egregious form of it takes a while, but it's fun. where the horse mechanics of like drift speeding is engaging. It's at least an action you do, and it feels like you are going large distances really fast. As
Yeah.
Zex just said in chat, Guild Wars 2 mounts, where I can go and like jump around, like do long leaps on my raptor. Oh, it's water. Move to my skimmer, glide along the water, hop off, and go onto my sky scale to try to get some height. Jump off into my griffin to speed along the ground, and like do all these chains of mounts and movement to have an engaging travel. And
I would agree with that.
WoW did it with the Dragonflight update, which was really amazing.
I still haven't tried that, so I'm really curious to see how that feels.
It's a lot of fun, I will say that. I never got stuck into WoW long enough to stay and be like, oh, I'm raiding. But I did try the Dragonflight out. It's very fun.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry, did you have any other systems you wanted to add?
Oh, believe me, I could go on for a while. I'll do one more just to wrap up for like a last one. The last one, because you guys all mentioned like a bunch of the other ones I'd mentioned, but the last one I feel like a lot of folks don't like think about when it comes to systems is an engaging buff system. Not because there's so often where it's like, okay, just apply these buffs, they last about 5 hours, and you just go find another buffer out in like the town, you go, buffs please, and they give you them, and then you wait like another 5 hours, you come back to town. Or they last 3 seconds and they're worthless. In 14 there was a point in time where the bard class actually, and like I think even machinist had it, where there was like the role specific ones and like even specific buffs where I could for 30 seconds go and throw a defensive buff onto the tank and actually be impactful, and things like that are really good. Like Guild Wars 2 used to have it where you could go and like give yourself short duration boons, but they were meaningful boons. Now they're just permanent uptime, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, and Guild Umbrella says Star Wars Galaxies had amazing buffs. You could play doctors and dancers for prior to adventuring, which I really like that. I think that having meaningful skills, right, beyond just adventuring skills where you have to like fight people, but buffing skills or anything else that could be helpful, it kind of goes back to the typical TTRPG of giving somebody guidance, right? My skills don't always need to be combat focused where I'm helping to make sure I kill something, but it could be some sort of buff that helps you do better as well. And I think that that's really important. And I think Bard specifically plays a really good role in that. And at the very least, I feel like Ashes did do a good job to attempt to portray that. I'd like to see more. I think Dancer in Final Fantasy XIV is a pretty good example of this as well. Although you do typically need a dance partner to do like amazing, but still, I thought that was a unique take. Vertec, did you have any? I know we're getting to like the 15-ish in.
I mean, so MMOs. Do you tend to want to stick towards high fantasy, low fantasy, just straight up sci-fi, all of the above? Or do you really just not care what it is as long as it's fun?
It's a great question.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna need time to think. No, I'm gonna need time to think because I feel like I have to give a reason.
She's also really new. Yeah. To MMORPGs.
All right, I'll go first for a change. I'll let Bean think. For me, I've played so many MMOs that, like, generally speaking, high and low fantasy is probably what you're going to come across the most. You'll get some sci-fi in there. You'll eventually get, like, info punk and stuff like that, like, or diesel punk, and it's kind of fun. The most interesting MMO thematically I ever played is one that's slowly getting revived right now by the same people who revived Guns, which is Drift City, where it is just a racing game with a bunch of other people around. and it is modern day. There's no, like, the story is paper thin, but you get to race it. You can do impromptu races in the middle of the street, like, but in the TV movies where it's like you stop at a stop sign to look at the other person, you kind of rev your engine, and then next thing you know, you're in a drag race, impromptu drag race. You could do that stuff in that game. It was so fun. It died because it was pay to win, but it was a very, very, very fun MMO.
Fair. I've never heard of a racing MMO. Interesting.
I mean, there was
that seems super interesting. I think for me, I don't necessarily care, but I want them to like what they're doing, because I see it a lot in other games that are high fantasy, where it's like Lord of the Rings adjacent and they just change a little bit, or it's D&D adjacent and they just change a little bit. It's like, if you're gonna do it, make it original. If you're going to bring in, medieval stuff, make it fantasy. Don't just be like, nah, it's medieval Europe, but you have magic. Tee-hee. It's like, no, give me a reason why it's there. Change it a little bit. You have the ability to do whatever with it. So I don't think I care, as long as they actually like put in the work and they're not just like, yeah, it's Cyberpunk 77, but a little bit different.
Yeah. A little bit different.
I could see that, definitely. Oh, did you have more you wanted to add?
Oh no, I was reading about the Riot one, because I think that's why it brought up in my mind, is like, because if Riot is going to do it and do it well, they need to leverage all of the stories and ability like that they have within their world to make, and they have the ability to not just be like, yep, it's Egypt for Shurima, thumbs up. They can make it different, and they can change it, and they can elaborate on it. And I think that's something that I care about more. I don't really care what kind, but just like, don't cookie cut something out and then be like, here you go, unless that is what your game is. But so many people default to, it's D&D or Lord of the Ring-esque for fantasy stuff, instead of making their own different, like, cool world.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, as I mentioned in the comments, for those that are listening, this is live stream, so there's comments and everything. But as I mentioned in the comments, that, we're keeping an eye on the Riot MMORPG for once it does actually start having more information being developed. But also, I mean, I loved the Arcane series. That was a very nice elaboration on the world, because as much as I don't play League, I still enjoy the concept behind the characters. I still enjoy the stories behind the characters. So delving deeper into that, I would love to see, going into a Riot MMO, something that kind of allows that door to be opened even more, and for us to explore these deeper narratives behind the characters that are very popular, and especially because of the Arcane series.
Yes, I hope they make more, and they actually go forward and make, I think Noxus is what they pointed to next. It's been so long since I've actually played League, so I don't remember all the names, but yes.
They did confirm a new season of Arcane coming, but they did mention it's like going to be whole new characters, whole new setting, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got like 179 champions at this point, so
they're still making more. There's still new characters coming out always.
It's crazy. You think that they're done, and then suddenly there's still somehow a new one that just pops out of the woodwork, and I'm like, where did you come from? What is this? But real quick, just to kind of switch up gears a little bit. So I want to go into what to expect from the tavern. And one thing that we did recently, and I will grab the link for this in case anybody in chat wants to come and participate with us. This is our current live tier maker site. And what I have tasked our wonderful mods with doing, as well as Vertec and myself, for those that tuned in on Tuesday, we all ranked the current game options based on our basic understanding of these games, some of these we have played before, like World of Warcraft. However, Vertec and I haven't played World of Warcraft in such a long time that some of these systems have actually changed a good amount, and some of the lore has changed. Yeah, so for me, I'm basing it off of what I knew before and information that I was given recently from other people that have actually played it. And Vertec, I think you have some friends that they kind of changed their viewpoint on it a little bit. They're like, oh, I think it's actually kind of worth digging into at least, versus like, nope, pass.
Yeah.
But the idea behind this is Vertec and I we made a tier list, and I think Vertec, you also had ChatGPT rank our tier list.
I did. I'm actually currently getting that set up now to be able to actually show it on the stream.
Okay, perfect. And we all, like, in terms of the mods and myself, I sent all of these to you, Vertec, in case you want to put them up. We all went through and did our tier list, and so the goal is to choose like 5 to 7 of these, probably from the top going down. And those are going to be the ones we actually go through and explore, starting from the bottom, actually. Because let's be honest, if we try to do a series and we started with the one that we think we'd be like the most enticed by, it's probably going to be a short series. But we want to actually go through, delve into these games, and actually see how we like these. No, it's not. It's Final Fantasy 14. That Final Fantasy 14 is not turn-based. It is an MMORPG.
There are turn-based MMORPGs.
There are. Yes,
Oh,
but the one specifically on the tier list is not, is my point. But yes, so some of the other things while Vertec gets that together is we've redone our Discord. So there's been a huge overhaul on our Discord. If you haven't checked in for a little while, make sure you check and confirm, or like type somewhere if you're already in there, if you haven't done so recently, because that will update your role a little bit. We've divvied out roles to kind of coincide with the different streams that we do. So we've got our general area for all things that are podcast related, and then we've got our Tavern Talk area, our Mead Quest, our Cozy Quest, and TTRPG section, because I've been delving into more TTRPG things lately. And in terms of non-MMORPG happenings, the reason why we're a little bit delayed today, I had 2 interviews that I was doing for TTRPG related things. So I ended up kind of running a little bit late, and Vertec had forgotten that tonight's shows are usually around 7 instead of 9, which our Mondays and Tuesdays are. So those are just quick updates, things that are happening. We're also starting on the 16th through the 31st, we're going to be away from the tavern. We're going up to PAX East. And if you are going to PAX East, come by and say hi. And speaking of mead, Vertec has actually started making mead again.
Yeah, got some new batches in.
So
actually, they're just about done. It's almost time to start new ones after that.
Yeah. Did you want to go ahead and bring us into the MMORPG plan section with our tier list? Do you have that ready?
Yeah. I got the tier list that's up online. Bear with me.
But I guess I will say, just for reference, Vertec and I ended up not submitting anything as an S tier. Nothing is necessarily at a overview a perfect game for us. I feel like S tier is one of those, like, it should be extremely limited with which games we put in there.
Yes.
But for me, I did rank Scars of Honor and World of Warcraft Midnight at A, and a variety of other games, including Final Fantasy XIV and Guild Wars 2, at B. And we'll dive a little bit more into that as well. But what did you guys rank as your top, like, 3 or 4?
I have Final Fantasy XIV as an S1, aside from some minor gripes when I did play it, because it doesn't feel like an MMO. It feels like an RPG that I'm just so happen to be playing with other random people around.
Yeah.
that was definitely 100% my speed. And as I talked about the RP stuff earlier, and that was really the second, because I played New Worlds before that, which isn't on this list, and I have major gripes with that game. But being the second one and the first time that I really experienced the social aspect, everyone there was so nice. It was so great. When I had questions because I didn't understand the systems, they very quickly were like, "Oh, you have the leaf above your head. Are you new or just new account?" And I was like, "I've never played anything before." And they were like, "Oh, well, here you go." And helped out very quickly.
Yeah.
So that one 100% holds a lovely place in my heart. At the top. Is it perfect? No, but the rose-colored glasses or something.
Yeah.
And then I have never played these and only looked into them and did kind of use people that play it as a sort of reference to give me some more information. I have Lord of the Rings online. Mainly just because I'm a big Lord of the Rings nerd, and I just love that. And then Arcade, the new one that's coming out that you have on there, it seems decent. It has most of the things that I want, so yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Aura?
Mine came down to basically putting the 4 currently out, main currently out ones at the top. As much as it sounds like just cheating and cop out, I actually probably place mine different than a lot of other people place theirs. For me, S rank wasn't about being perfect or being better than the other ones, but for the story of their histories for those two. For me, Old School RuneScape came from passion of the fans and exists because of passion of the fans and drives forward because of passion for the fans. If that's not an S tier game, I don't know what is. Something that got pulled from hell itself and brought back to life and is thriving. And it's fairly similar to 14. It's something that was basically pulled from a burning building and now stands a little taller. But for me, looking at 14, for me, I love playing 14. I always love going back there. I don't care about the story. I think it's long-winded and boring, which I'm about to get all the hate for. I like playing the heal. I like playing White Mage and solo healing. I like going into a Savage you can get rid of the other healer and just bring another DPS. And they're like, "Have you done this before?" I'll be like, "Nope." They're like, "Can you solo heal?" I'll be like, "Yep." And then I'll proceed to solo heal it blind. And that for me is a ton of fun. It's not because 14 is not a difficult game. Unless you go and do the T and all of those, just the super high end stuff. That stuff I can't do. That's where my skill level caps out.
Gotcha.
In terms of I put Guild Wars 2 and WoW. Guild Wars 2 and WoW basically are two halves of the same coin to me. They fill each other's negative space and create a positive feedback loop for each other. And they've kind of always done that, where there's areas in WoW that you will get this hardcore vibe from, and you can go and raid and feel like you're improving and doing well. And you can, where Guild Wars 2 is horizontal, it's very much meant to be take your time, go at your own pace. And between the two, if you play both, you really get everything you could ever want out of any MMO. If you just play both back to back. But they're not for everybody. You got Jamie, who has been will probably slowly appear behind me at any second now as me mentioning this, that has been trying to drive me to play WoW. And genuinely, I'm pretty sure one day he's going to teleport behind me. I'm dead serious. But like, and it's like I genuinely watched him play and have fun, and it's like I like that to me. It's like there's so much there that I can't comprehend as to what drive like the parts I don't understand, but the parts I do, it's like that looks fun. And
Yeah.
it's like I know it's the same for a lot of WoW players coming to Guild Wars. It's like I don't understand any of what you're on about.
Yeah. And I mean, I think by the metrics that you rated yours, that makes sense. But I think Vertec, as you're about to explain to everybody, we've come up with a metric that you guys helped us come up with, and that's what we based everything off of for our rankings. And Vertec, do you want to chat about yours?
Sure. Yeah, I didn't really read anything on purpose as an S rank. Monsters and Memories accidentally landed there because I was trying to see how this thing worked, and that was the first one that I was playing with.
Yep.
That was actually supposed to be down in like a, D, maybe a C tier, maybe on a good day. Yeah, so I ended up with an S tier. Monsters and Memories. Yeah, nothing in here is what I would consider an S tier. Nothing on our list, nothing that's out there right now and actually available to play.
Yeah.
SOTOR has been kind of a hard no for Chibi, mainly just because for some reason her computer absolutely will not let her install it and actually run it.
Vertec has actually seen this with his own 2 eyes. I told him, and he was like, I don't believe you. And then he came over and tried to help, and then the PC was like, yeah, no, dude.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I wasn't lying, I promise. It just doesn't like me.
It literally would not install. And then it would install, and then it wouldn't run. So maybe someday when we trade out computers, it might be on the list again.
Maybe.
Who knows?
But I also,
Maybe.
I played that a good amount with, an ex of mine a long time ago.
Lies and
Also, maybe,
subterfuge.
maybe you're the one cursed with it. The game doesn't like you.
Yeah.
It's quite possible.
Fair.
It's quite possible. But then again, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest, Hammer. SOTOR is a really great first player or single player game that you can kind of play with friends if you really want to.
Yeah.
That's really SOTOR in a bucket right there.
With some of these rankings that we gave, just going as a precursor for everybody, we really are considering, what MMORPG is actually going to be a good fit for TGFTavern going forward, and do we see ourselves being able to cover this game ultimately?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I mean,
feel like at
the
the end of the
right
day-
one. Oh, go ahead,
I was
Bean.
gonna say, I feel like at the end of the day, you gotta do what's fun. Like we could rate these all we want, but if you don't think it's fun and all, then you're not gonna play it, and people are gonna notice, and they're gonna be like, well, they're not having fun, so I'm not gonna watch this.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's why we didn't want to just jump into one game and be like, this is the game we're covering. Instead, we kind of wanted to turn it into a little bit of a journey along with us as we go from our least favorite MMORPG together through the most rated one that we both are super into, which Vertigo's concern is going to be World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I'm honestly concerned about it because we didn't want to go back there, right? But I mean, if that's what it ends up being, that's what it ends up being. I've heard a lot of good things
I
about
think
it
you can land in Guild
with
Wars.
the new stuff. But yeah, I basically in my A tier I got Scars of Honor and Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft. B tier, Mithril may or may not actually belong in there, but it looks like it has a really fun theme to it, and it would be really interesting to jump in there as an all-dwarf game. An all-dwarf game running around and just destroying people's everything. And hey there, Jamie. Yeah, WoW is awesome right now. Yeah, you were saying that a while back, and we never really made the hop over.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
said his name
and
many times.
I think if we do this share, it'll probably be towards the later part of the year too.
Yeah,
Although
I'm trying to watch alternating videos on it. So I watched one today where someone was like, "Yeah, it's really great because this," and they listed out all the reasons it's great. But I saw another one that said World of Warcraft refund night, and they said it's like the most refunded and worst expansion WoW's had in a really, really long time. And I want to watch that one next just to see the counterpoints.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do a preemptive just based off of what I've seen because we follow Jamie on X, so I sometimes get other people's World of Warcraft opinions.
Mhm.
I'm gonna guess it has to do with like the style of mounts and stuff. A lot of people have been a little bit frustrated that it's too inclusive of a genre. But I don't want to get too into that. But in terms of like, there's some girlier mounts, and now there's like the whole entire housing system, and it's like a game for everyone's a game for no one type of idea. But that's just some of the criticism I've heard. So
Yeah, I definitely saw somebody making the comparison between like 2014 World of Warcraft and 2026, where it's like orcs and like RAR, like war, just literally Warcraft, just happening. Things are on fire, and such like that. And then today's with the I guess commercial or advertisement for the housing system, where everyone's just running around with like pink flamingos, throwing them in the lawn.
Speaking of one of the things I wanted to share out, Vertec found this. There's a Zillow Zillow for Warcraft link.
Yeah.
And
It's actually pretty great.
We're sitting here going, okay, do you buy a house here? Is this so that you can list what your house looks like? Like, what is this?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop sharing this real quick just so I can actually pull that up,
Okay.
because that was
Yeah, it's a
entertaining
promo
as-
and shows
as
off
hell.
some of the community builds. That's what I was thinking. Because, I mean, Zillow is like a good way to look at like people's houses and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, this is the house that I live in. Or like, these are old photos of the house that I live in. So you can see if it's gotten a paint retouch or something. But I was like, it says contact an agent today. And I'm like, does this mean like agent, like, am I buying a house from Zillow for
Yeah,
Warcraft? Am I
are
just
they literally
displaying?
selling? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're literally selling the houses on Zillow for World of Warcraft.
Which-
That's great and crazy and terrible all at once.
Which afterwards I told Vertec, I was like, I think I found my future content plan. Just gonna make pretty houses and then list them on Zillow for Warcraft.
Alright,
Yeah,
let's
it's just
see,
a
they
cross
kept showing.
promotion. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, but I wasn't quite sure. And like everything that we were investigating in was just still vague, and I was like, but I really liked the idea of it. It was really cool.
You should have like an option to be like, hey, can I talk to the person that designed this and get some design tips? Because that's really cool.
Yeah, they actually list the person that made the thing too. You have the agent, aka the person that listed the community like build sharing thing, and then you have the person that actually built the thing. There are people selling services to do builds though. True, I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
thought this was great. For those that
there's-
haven't seen it, like
Zillow
Can
for
literally run
Warcraft, I
down.
love it.
check out the Silver Moon Chic.
I'm so amused. It's my question is, how did you do the 3D? How did you do that? Like, I understand like taking an actual 3D camera into a physical house and being like, yes, you can turn and look around and you can move over here. I'm like, how did you do this in the game? I don't understand. This is
A lot of pictures.
awesome.
Yeah, a lot of just full tilt pictures is all. Like they got the full scope camera going.
Oh, that's really cool. Jamie says they'll be adding layouts soon that you can share and post, but it's not in yet. That's really cool.
Yeah, I just really
Yeah,
like how they
see,
did
you can
the
like
3D
look
tour
around.
thing.
It's so
like,
crazy. I love this. This is awesome. But I mean, these are the types of community tools that I absolutely love seeing in an MMORPG. I appreciate fan sites. I appreciate like, especially for things like housing. I don't know. It's fun. It'd be fun. I don't know if maybe Final Fantasy has one for how to like get different tunes in your game. But I feel like you'd have to be careful with copywriting, even so, especially for streaming.
I wonder if
You
this
know.
house comes with the decor.
Don't want K-pop Demon Hunter copyright strikes because you're playing Golden in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But
Listen, I need to be a magical girl everywhere I go. They just have to accept it.
right? But yeah, I just thought that was a really cool, since we're on the topic of World of Warcraft already, I thought that was a really interesting thing to share with you guys that Vertec found. But yeah, for me, at my A list, I've got Scars of Honor and World of Warcraft. I only have 2 in the A list. Funny that my second A list is basically something that was inspired by World of Warcraft, I guess. But I have a little bit more in the B tiers. It's just Guild Wars 2, just to offset from Vertex for me. I'm not sure about it. I've already expressed my concerns about Guild Wars 2 in terms of just the class fantasy isn't as much there, and I don't really enjoy the fact that my weapon changes my abilities. But
Hey, thanks for the look there, Jamie.
yeah.
Get your own next time.
Final Fantasy 14, I do agree. Like, I love the stories, but like when I was streaming this previously with Vertex, before we made the Golden Feather Tavern, I used to stream on TBBRE only, and I used to have to tell people, hey, sorry, I can't really interact with you right now. We're in the middle of watching like the cinematics for the story, and I'm very in depth with that, and I didn't enjoy how much that limited interaction. I guess you can always say I've been into community interaction from the beginning, and I think Final Fantasy has some really cool things to it. However, the really long animation, cinematics, and just I don't know, the not as easy for like the higher barrier of entry. That's what I was trying to go for. The higher barrier of entry for a new person with all of these like backlog of cinematics to catch up on. It doesn't feel as easy to welcome someone into the community compared to the other options on the table. And that's part of the reason why.
Ooh, welcome to the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All of the leveling grind. But for those reasons, that's why both of those are in B for me. There's aspects where I would probably enjoy playing the game, trying the game, but then there's these really big aspects for me that are kind of, I'm not really sure about that one kind of feel for me.
I'm sorry, if it makes you feel any better, most people agreed with you on the Guild Wars 2. Well, not most
Really?
people, but more people agreed with C rank on that one for Guild Wars 2 than any other rank.
My rank was
love it,
B.
hate it game.
My rank was B for Guild Wars 2. So I put Guild Wars 2 higher. Wait, no, I didn't. Wait, yeah, I did.
Visa.
Okay, sorry. I went back to most votes. My bad. But yeah, I put Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy at B, and those are both like, I think C.
Yeah,
for
see,
Final Fantasy.
I took like
Oh, it's
everything
FFS.
into combination with it with the games though, and like Guild Wars 2 has really high points in some areas for me that like Final Fantasy just doesn't touch. Like
Yeah.
reusability of old maps, there's like none of that in Final Fantasy. Once you move on, you're just gone, right?
Yeah.
You never see it again.
Something to mention with the cutscene things, like if you think Guild Wars 2 has a lot of cutscenes, Final Fantasy 14 I think currently sits at equivalent to three arcs of One Piece worth of like cutscenes.
Sounds
I
about right.
Like
realized
this,
it was
which is
Kingdom
about-
Hearts 3, the movie you
It
can
makes
play
Kingdom Hearts-
sometimes.
Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts 3 has like no cutscenes compared to 14 in its current iteration. Even skipping like cutscenes, it's like 14 has a hell of a grind up to current. I think with cutscenes, it's like 1,000 hours to get to modern day. With skipping cutscenes, it's like 500 hours, which is insane.
That's fair.
Sweezel, I would say a cutscene is something where the player has no control over what's happening, but there's conversation happening between NPCs and the player character. Typically something that's like verbal, because and I define it like that because there are some games where they do the cutscene in the game, right?
Yeah.
In the game engine, they don't do anything that's pre-rendered.
Like Final Fantasy, I think, is a really good example of this because a point to Final Fantasy for immersion, you see your character in the cutscene in whatever clothing you're currently wearing. You just updated your glamour. Congratulations. You and your brand new glamour are in that cutscene.
Oh yeah, the modern day Guild Wars has that. Like the old, like the I would say definitely like early Guild Wars 2 cutscenes and like story content is a rough watch.
Yeah.
But like once you get to, I think it's like Heart of Thorns, which is the first expansion, it's so much better. You can move around, walk around, like you can stand where you want and really like RP it out however you want. If you want to dash ahead and start skipping around, like you can. If you want to stand there and watch, if you want to walk in pace with them, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, one time I killed an NPC on accident in the middle of a cutscene.
I mean,
it did soft lock it, by the way.
That's my favorite thing with a lot of these like games, especially like some of these RPGs, where I've seen people specifically time stuff so that way during the cutscene the person dies. Like I think Red Dead Redemption, this happened as well, where like it goes into a cutscene and the person just like dies in the middle of the cutscene, but they're still like voicing.
Yeah,
it's crazy what people can do.
Yeah,
if just like any of the cutscene and they're all like serious, like we're gonna do these things, we're gonna do this, and then it turns that I'm in the doofiest outfit. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Sweeza said some cutscenes are about to look really goofy if I play.
Yeah. Like I commit to the bit so hard. I'm like, oh, we're going into the industrial era. Well, guess who's about to look like the most magical girl ever? 10 out of 10.
Love it.
I do love doing the like counter like fashion for like areas. It's like, oh, we're going to the magical girl land. Time to look like it's the apocalypse.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You just stand out like a sore thumb.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Gonna hydrate. Cheers.
Oh no, I just got rid of my asset. But cheers.
I don't know if you Vertec, if you saw earlier, but I didn't call this out verbally, and I want to take a moment real quick. Noobtastic has been subscribed for 12 months, 1 whole year. So cheers
to you.
Thank you for the resub. Congratulations on 1 year, and thanks for being with us this long.
You got a new mug next to your name.
Yeah.
You finally got a clean mug.
Yep. Vertec, go ahead.
But yeah, with the tier list thing that we had here, one thing I thought was interesting is looking at the difference between most votes, which tallies up whatever ranking has received the most votes for that specific game, or what the game was voted most as versus the average vote. Like even just the fact that everything moves down because it's averaging it out. Like the average vote, Guild Wars 2 is like where is it? It's like way down here.
B.
Yeah. But you go to most votes and it's down in C.
Yeah.
Like I think everything kind of takes a big drop down.
I think average is a better look because it takes like then like most votes is a good look at like where most people are putting their stuff.
Yeah.
But average I think is like a really good sense of like where it really feels like it belongs, like, and you can it's like nothing's S, like nothing really is S, like S
Liar's
tier.
Bar. Seiken. Liar's Bar is
I would
on the
agree
list.
with that.
Like the other thing is like when it comes to ranking an MMO, it's so personal preference that like there's so like one feature could be enough to be like this goes to a D rank for me, and it does not, like, and it's like that's it, that's pulled it down for everybody. It's like I know for some folks, like the fact that Guild Wars 2's PvP is separated away off on its own, fully different gear, fully different stats, fully different skills, and it's like nope, that D tier, terrible game.
We'll say World of Warcraft is one that kind of proves that subjective rating thing, because it got 4 rankings at A and 4 at D, and objectively speaking, World of Warcraft isn't a D rate game. Like truly separating yourself from disliking Blizzard or Activision, and or like previous experiences, because you keep going back and forth and just meh, whatever. Like objectively speaking, it's really not a D rank game. Like honestly, it's a pretty solid A. B if you're really trying to knock it down.
Yeah.
Like when it really comes down to like stability and depth of everything going on in the world, and even now anyway, since they've started doing actual refreshes of their art, like even visuals and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes to player bias in terms of like out of game politics, right? If you take everything in terms of information, and I'm not even talking about like the typical politics of, you know, conservative versus democratic. I'm talking about like gaming politics of like Activision buying Blizzard, for example, and things like that. Like when you bring out these other external factors into the decision, I think you can see that it changes a lot of opinion. And on top of that, there's how the game developers as a whole respond to the community. I think that's also a very important part of it. We've seen games that maybe aren't super great, but have really amazing developer feedback and really amazing community, and the company values the community's thoughts, and they actively strive to make those changes. But it might be a lower tier quote unquote game because of graphics or certain mechanics that aren't quite hitting the nail on the head necessarily. And I think that the most versus average is a really good indication of where people's biases are versus how most people view things, if you will.
I think that's such an interesting thing, because I know that happened in one of my rankings, because I put WoW lower, but my qualifications for that was something that I see in a lot of games, and funnily enough, when anime gets recommended to me and I go, I don't really know if I can get through this, and they're like, oh, just skip these amount of episodes, these seasons, and you'll be fine. And it's like, if I'm going on this journey, I want to do the whole thing. And if your response is just skip this, you'll get to the good part after that, I'm immediately disinterested. And with games, it's like, oh yeah, just hold on, let me drag you through these 20 quest lines, and then it gets good. You've lost me because I want to be invested. But so that's why I put WoW a bit lower. But then Scars of Honor, even though they're kind of the same game, but I happened to catch a stream with the Scars of Honor. I don't know what he is, but
the main developer.
Yeah. Where he said something very specific, and I went, okay, you have me listening. I might not play your game, but you have me listening.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things he said that caught my attention. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I personally put it up in an A rank, because it's just, it shows promise, because, you know, it's not out right now, right? So we can't properly grade it, but it was definitely like genuine interest in the game itself, because it was a passion project that his boss at one job was like, sure, I'll front some money into that. Let's get it going. Let's start a studio. And I mean, he wrote the server code himself, and was the top contributor of code into the game at this point. And he's also at the same time, you know, the creative director and CEO and all that fun stuff. Right.
I actually appreciate that the CEO and creative director is actually dev and is actually like built the server tech, for example. Like I really like that. Yeah.
Like all of that combined in is like, okay, this is going to be something that's actually going to be like constructed in a specific way. Plus the polling of the community for what features to put in.
Yeah.
It sounds very good, which is, for me, anything not out, I could not reasonably give above a B because it's not out. So anything I had strong faith in, I put as a B. And anything like weak faith in or no faith in, like weak faith was like C and no faith was D. Anything out got its actual rating. So for me, I don't like Quinfall is like a C. There's something there, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it. Scars of Honor, I put in C. there's a lot of personal gripes I have with systems that I've seen in the past. Knowing now that it's a dev as a CEO, I might have pushed it higher, but I still stick by putting it in a C for now.
Yeah, for reference, for the rest of our community as well, like, we've sat with you guys for hours over the last month. We've created an entire list. We rated how important that entire list is. And so when Vertec and I went through all of these with you guys on Tuesday, we not only looked at, you know, what is the state of the game in, but what are the features intended? What are the pay rate? What is the intention behind how they're getting money? And, you know, who is the developer? Because unfortunately for Cacao, I'm not really into Cacao because of how they've done other games. So while I didn't make that solely the reason why I got a lower vote, it definitely attributed to a lower vote. But when I looked at these, I looked at how well did they rank compared to the listing that you guys made with us. And then the second main part that went into my decision was, how likely am I to actually play this game if this game was something that I bought into and it was something that I had available to myself if I were by myself and needing to play a game. Like if Vertec left for a week for work and nobody else was online and available to play with me, how likely am I going to open up that game and play it by myself? And that's kind of what helped attribute what an A/B was for me compared to a C/D. And for me, I think the most important part was getting a basic understanding of what the intended systems are for each of these games, because a lot of these games I've never even played. But what are the intended systems for these? How do they match up with my expectations for said systems? And then ranking it that way.
I think that's a good way to do it.
I threw a weird thing on the end of mine. How easy was it to find information about the game and the systems contained within? Because if I face any lack of information, minimal information, or you just have to buy the game and find out, I was like, no.
Yeah.
That's negative for me.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why, like, the Riot MMO is not on this list, because there's like no information on that.
Well, it's been scrapped like 3 different times.
Yeah, they recently said they were putting it on pause again, I believe.
Oh, geez, didn't they just like a month ago say that they were bringing it back online?
Like, how recent? Yeah.
Yeah, let me search it.
I don't keep up with it enough to actually know. I just will one day wait for them to be like, hey guys, we're dropping a new game. And then I'll start paying attention.
There you
go. We do know that the goal is to release before 2030. Yeah, 4 more years.
We'll see.
Time will tell.
So as of a month ago, it was confirmed the Riot MMO is still in production.
Yeah. And that's the most recent information that I saw, because they also hired a couple people, I think, from World of Warcraft too. Yeah, exactly. I think that, I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm going to attribute a lot of time into an MMORPG, I need to also enjoy it when nobody else is online. And I think part of the reason why I tend to delve off of MMOs and go into more like just RPGs is because, I mean, a lot of us who have played MMORPGs who maybe, I mean, unless you're super lucky or you're really tight with your friends, for example, have experienced guilds falling apart and disappearing. And now you have to try to find somebody else to play with. And if you just aren't finding somebody, or like the groups that you're finding aren't like really open to adding new people into their groups, then you just end up playing kind of by yourself. And I think Vertec, you and I ended up doing that towards the end of our World of Warcraft thing, just because I think our guild decided to jump to a different server, and we're like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, a couple times we ended up trying to join more people or move to a server with people we knew and stuff like that. It was just kind of a mess.
Yeah. So
I mean, it is pretty bad, but like there hits a point where after that happens enough times, you got it. Like you said, you got to just play an MMO for you first and foremost.
Mhm.
and your community kind of has to be secondary. If your community up and leaves and isn't wanting like to keep you around, then it's probably for the best it's leaving. And sometimes it hurts, sometimes you're happy about it. There's
Yeah.
been several times in my MMO career I had a guild go and be like, hey, we're gonna go and become a PvP guild, and I'm like, I don't want a PvP, and they're like, well, these like 10 people want a PvP and I want a PvP, so we're gonna go PvP. And I'm like, you guys have fun.
Okay. Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I'm kicked from the guild, and it's like, well, they weren't good people, or they didn't care about me, and it's time for me to leave.
Yeah, I just also mean like when you get to the end of a gameplay loop, like between expansions, for example, and you kind of done all of the story that there is to do, and now you're just trying to have fun with people, right? And I think it's just one of those, a big part of MMORPGs, while I do appreciate the perspective of like you need to like the MMO first, I think having a group of people to play with completely alters the experience. And it's like if you have a piece of chocolate cake and you like the chocolate cake, it's pretty good, and it's the best chocolate cake that you've had so far, and then you go to a gourmet restaurant where it's just over the top chocolate cake and it's just the best you've ever had. Like it just blows you out of the, like, I don't know, blows your mind, I guess. Blows the others out of the water is what I was trying to say. Then going back to that first chocolate cake where you're like, oh, I really like this chocolate cake, is a little hard sometimes, because again, kind of going back to the general point that I'm making, having having that social interaction with people can alter your gameplay experience to the point that once that leaves, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And it's not that I don't like the game anymore, it's just I really liked how that social felt. And I think that's part of the reason, or I mean, that being said, that same socialization could be the exact reason why you rage quit and then refused to log back into the game after a while, because they couldn't make up their mind and they were making you change your opinion or your class too many times.
Oh yeah, I've had that. Even my Guild Wars 2 initial experience, I had a bunch of friends who were streamers at the time who got into Guild Wars 2, and I was playing with them. And eventually a bunch of them quit because, you know, like streamers don't stick with a game very long. And I got lucky. A different group of streamer friends ended up picking it up, and I've moved over to play with them.
Yeah.
Still had the social thing. But eventually I ran out of friends. There was no one left to play with at all, so I ended up playing on my own for a while. And it was incredibly lonely. And I changed servers, tried hunting down new guilds, and I ended up like missing like a bunch of like the big moments. I actually made it to one of them for my servers, which was the first kill of like a world boss for the server. I even have pictures from that day, which is funny enough. The day that happened, the guild leader who took me to Wildstar was I've known him well over a decade. He was the guild that I ended up joining randomly one day, and it had turned out at the event where it was like the first server kill for that world boss for our server. They were there. I ran into them prior, did not know, but there, you know, you could see the name tag of one of their characters in the image I took, showing that I ran into them and never realized it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Not to, like,
they were there all along.
Not to switch topics, but I do. I had a thought while we were talking about all of this with the way Ashes ended the way it did. I am finding it ever more interesting the more people that I continue to keep in contact with from the community, and they all go to different homes now, go back to the MMO they came to before here, etc., that really had something that I don't find in a lot of other gaming communities or when other people talk about other MMOs is it brought so many different types of people together in the same spot to play the same game together. Because the other that I had when you guys were talking about playing it alone is I have to think about it the opposite way. I don't have a whole lot of time to play games, and I play multiple games with multiple friend groups. So I have to find a game that if I can only play 5 hours, I feel like I'm doing something and not just like being drug along by the other people that like playing with me just so they can get me to level so I can play the content. But then by the time I'm able to play again, they're already, you know, another 20, 30 levels ahead of me. And it's something that I didn't necessarily feel so much in Ashes. I did. Like, it still did happen from time to time for the people that, like, it's release weekend, I'm going to take the whole weekend off. And I was like, I don't have that option. But I never felt bad about not having enough playtime or not wanting to touch certain aspects of the game because I was thankfully, I was in a very wonderful guild, still with them, but playing other games now. But that they absolutely shoved people from different types of MMO loves into one guild, and we all were like, yeah, we like each other. We're cool.
Yeah. And I think that all of us have a different perspective on our interest in MMOs. And I kind of called it ahead of time. I had a feeling if anything happened to like Ashes that people would probably end up diversifying what games they play. And that's absolutely happening. But that's also because I think the one thing that Ashes really had going for it is it had an amalgamation of all these different systems put into one game that you can't really find in one game. You find in a couple of games. But I think while that made it extremely like high achieving in terms of its goals, I think that it still was an important consideration that people do like this amount of systems put together. Granted, it also seems like it takes a lot of time and money to make all of that. But
also not without its issues, to be perfectly honest, to all the things. But
it's just like the concept of it. I think a lot of people liked the concept. Sorry, Vertek, I'm buying you time unless you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything change on screen, so I was just yapping.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure we actually talk about what's going up there. So we also thought it'd be kind of fun if we shoved everything with our our metrics that we wanted to grade a game with once we start playing it, shove it into an AI and see what it would come up with. And so it went through and rated everything and gave it all scores. And this is the output that we got. Let's see here.
Very
Expand
interesting.
that down a little bit.
I'm surprised by a lot of that.
And you basically gave it, because again, for those that have been following us, we do have like all of the other tabs that have like how highly we rated, the importance of things and things like that. And so you gave it all of that context.
Yeah, I gave it all the different context we could feed to it. And every one of the games we put on that tier list. And I mean, Scars of Honor and Arcade Chronicles, they definitely got points taken off because they just aren't launched yet.
Yeah.
Like they aren't out there, so it lost a bunch of points there. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying my S rank rating of Monsters and Memories, it wasn't too far off from what the AI gave it. Take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I mean, it's outside of that. I mean, RuneScape ended up here towards the top, which kind of surprises me. But I think one of the big reasons I'm not a big fan of it is because of the graphic style and just I just can't.
Yeah. And I think one of the metrics on our list that we all made together is graphics and how important the graphics are to you. And the graphics are really high rated. Like, I really dislike isometric games. I don't want to play an isometric game. It's not interesting very much to me. There are rare cases where I will play an isometric game, but it's not the first game I'm going to reach for. And I think it's because I like looking around. So I like the first person or like over the shoulder perspective of being able to see the world around me. And just being stuck looking down the whole time is a little bit boring. I think it limits my view of, ooh, shiny, or ooh, look at the landscape or whatever.
I think that's
So-
fair.
I was gonna say you gotta take your pretty pictures.
Yeah,
Taking
my
pretty
thing
pictures.
is like I can get around not having like amazing super top tier graphics in a game as long as there's mechanics that justify it. Like there's unique enough things happening in the game to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, graphics aren't at all a consideration for my MMO. I genuinely do not care if it looks like 5 pixels moving around, or if it looks like I can go and see the pores on the character's butt cheek. It doesn't matter to me. Like, genuinely, the gameplay is all that matters. I have,
Yeah.
like I said, I've played over 300 MMOs. I've played a chess MMO.
Yeah,
There
see,
is
that's
everything
exactly-
I can do. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly why I am somewhat of a graphics snob myself. Like, now, I'm not like a super graphics snob. They're definitely worse, for sure. But it definitely plays a big part because I have gone through that whole evolution of games. I've done my time with like 8-bit graphics. Okay, I've done my time. It's time to be an adult now and move on. Not saying like don't put down anybody who loves that type of graphics, because by all means, if that's your
Yeah.
thing, that's your thing. But with me, that's just in my mind. Like, I've spent so much time on this type of graphics and this type of gameplay. I really need to like experience new stuff. Give me
Yeah.
something unique. That's just
Yeah.
what goes on in my head is all.
Yeah, fair. And Seekin says, I'm surprised Star Citizen isn't on that list at all. I just don't like games that are too vast. Like, good looking game, but oof. And I want to say the reason why Star Citizen is not on this list is, for one, nobody recommended Star Citizen. But
Just
for
play No
two,
Man's Sky.
Vertek and I are not into like the space thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I don't necessarily want to play a whole game surrounding like traveling from planet to planet. That's not really my thing. And then on top of that,
Yeah.
the cost is egregious in some of those things. And I'm just it's a huge turnoff for both of those. So if it was on my list, I'd put it at a D because I can't give it enough.
My opinion is with Star Citizen is just go play No Man's Sky. It's a
Mm.
it's a vast space MMO that's already out, and it's only like $20 on sale.
Suiza says Vertek wants to know if a character did their nightly skincare routine last night. Hey,
Damn right.
I also care about that.
I feel
But-
like for me, I'm somewhere between it's got to have good graphics, and if they have a cool style, as somebody that
Mhm.
does primarily pixel art, there are ones that have decent graphics, but they are stylized.
Yeah.
And this games in general, because MMOs really aren't my thing. But
Lupo.
a good stylized and a good stylization and a good stick to whatever they've chosen, whether that's, you can see the nightly skincare routine, or it is a low poly one. It doesn't really matter. It just has to
Yeah.
be a good execution on it, because I think there's a
Yeah.
difference of those. And then like this game came out in 1999, so it just
Mhm.
looks like that 24/7, versus it came out now with the same stylization, but it looks way better. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to add to that, like World of Warcraft is a good example of this. This game came out in like 2004, right? At least according to YouTube. And you've got this really old MMORPG, but they've managed to keep up with modern times by updating their poly shades and things like that, and keeping the game looking and feeling modern. And I really appreciate that. Plus their cinematics, oh, I could die for their cinematics. But
Like, improving and
Go ahead.
like keeping modern with like graphics definitely is important. Like, yeah, if I look at 2004 World of Warcraft versus now, it's like, yeah, that it is a direct improvement. It does make it more interesting to play. But
Yeah.
like I said, I've played like I've purposely gone and played MMOs with absolutely abysmal graphics and like low tier assets, but
Mhm.
the gameplay was so to die for that I honestly did not care if it was a bunch of circles moving around.
Right.
And see, that's kind of what I'm talking about, though. Is like if the game has very unique standout features and it's done very, very well, I could get around at least a certain amount of graphic quality. Uh-oh.
Sorry, Mr. Newtastic says if my phone can handle the graphics, the game's not for me.
I mean, that's a fair take. That's a fair take.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
mobile MMOs actually aren't that bad nowadays. Like, I think you need like iPhone like 13 at the latest, and you can go and play some like really decent MMOs on your phone. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
somebody load Guild Wars 2 onto their iPhone.
When they just put Warframe out for mobile play.
I have a
yeah.
hot take. I don't think
What's our hot take?
I don't think MMOs should be available on mobile platforms.
It's definitely odd. I mean, I think Scars of Honor is intending to do something mobile as well, and I'm concerned with latency and the ability to actually work together. And it's just I don't know. I'm nervous about it. But
if it's like you can access your storage or like
if it's like a companion
app.
Yeah, companion apps, fine. But I don't want to log into the actual MMO on my phone or tablet. That feels weird, and I would like it to not be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be nifty if there were companion apps like specifically for crafters in a craft heavy game where you could just pop on your little mobile device and it's literally your character sitting in a workshop, and you can just like wander over and start hammering out something on the whatever your crafting station is.
Yeah.
There was an MMO that tried something like that. It never got released, but if I can recall the details, basically what they did was they had it where you could play the MMO on your phone, but it would basically crash if you tried to do anything other than crafting, and it was by design where the other features didn't exist. So you could walk around, go to the crafting stations, and on the phone there was a more intricate gameplay and like mini game associated with crafting. I think for like Alchemist, it was like you had to go and like stir the pot, raise and lower the heat, add the ingredient, like chop the and like we use the mortar and pestle and stuff like that, and it was like very like interesting. But
yeah,
the problem was they did not have the money. They were working on a budget of $5.
Oh my gosh.
That's a literal budget, by the way.
That's not what I wanted.
Literal budget. Oh, I mean,
it's crazy.
They had $5 to their name, and it was basically, we're going to see if we can build this game as fast as we can and put it to market. They got about 4 months in before they could not feed themselves, and they had to go get a real job.
Oh no!
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, no.
They did a lot in 4 months, though.
Sounds like. So I'm gonna adjust our conversation a little bit here.
Okay.
One thing from Reddit, from the r/MMORPG Reddit, is nostalgia or something else. Why do older MMOs feel socially different? I feel like this is very valid because we are like, not only did the AI list a lot of older MMOs, a lot of us in our voting have highly listed a lot of the older MMOs. And this is from Tassion Studios about a week ago. So all of these are from the last week. It says, I've been thinking about why older MMOs have often felt socially different, and I'm not sure what if the answer is necessarily nostalgia. In many early online worlds, you would repeatedly encounter the same players, not because the population was small, but because the game expected you to stay in shared spaces long enough for familiarity to form. Travel took effort, progression wasn't constantly resetting your location, and your choices affected future interactions. Modern games are usually smoother and more accessible. Yet, they also tend to minimize situations where strangers become familiar. You complete activities quickly, move on quickly, and rarely depend on the same people twice. Both approaches solve real problems, so this isn't an old, good, new, bad argument. I'm just more so curious about the underlying cause. What design pressures push a world toward being like a place that players inhabit versus a place that they just pass through? What are your thoughts?
Ooh, I was talking about this with Dragon recently. And for those of you that don't know in the community, Dragon is my husband and we stream together sometimes. We have a lot of conversations about games because he's played games longer than I have. And that's why we got into a discussion about WoW because he played WoW a while ago. And as the top comment on this is something we talked about. The internet, when a lot of the older MMOs were made, was the place you went and to go meet people, right? Mm-hmm. That was how you had a social interaction, and there were a lot of community-based things that were it's very different, right? Because now you can be like, hey, I'm interested in anime, and open up any social media and type in anime of choice, and you're gonna find so many people talking about it and so many places you can go to have those conversations. Versus then you were like, wow, I'm playing insert whatever MMO. Hopefully I can make friends. And then you kind of do that semi-organically, whether it be through the systems that are in the game, like guild systems, party systems, etc., etc. It then layers itself more organically and already exists as just something that was built into the time period where now how many people and I hate to use Ashes as a reference, but like how many people were like, oh, what's Ashes about? Let me just get their Discord link and go talk to that community, and boom, right? It's easy at your fingertips. It's so fast. Why would I do it in game? I can just play with the 7 friends I always play with and have the official Discord up in the background if I want to talk to somebody about Ashes. Let me mute global because I don't want to listen to that. I don't have to do quest lines with people. I don't have to do these things. But that wasn't the case until when did Discord come out? That's a question.
It was even before Discord came out. It was like it was starting like before then, like back. I feel like it like around maybe like a decade and a half ago was like when things started really changing, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was even before that, to be honest. But one of my big takes on it is that it's heavily dependent on the fact that there are so many more games out there now. Like if you go back far enough to the actual nostalgic old school games, it was if you're not playing this, you're playing that. If you're playing anything else, well, it's in development and it's alpha testing or beta testing and it's going to get nuked and whatever. Or it's just a terrible game that somebody put out for like a hobby and it's really not that great. There were literally just a handful to choose from. So everybody who was playing online games were playing those games. So everything felt like it was a bigger community and there were more people there. It was also new. And there weren't people making videos on stuff on how to do this and where to go for that. And YouTube wasn't a thing for a while, and even when it was a thing for a little bit of the time, it was still a lot of the people in the MMO sphere were still used to, I'll just go to YouTube real quick for a video just because I can't figure this thing out, and then that's all they did. They didn't live on YouTube watching video after video after video after video. They went there for a goal really quick, and that was it. And the rest of the time they were, in game talking to people. But I mean, outside of that, I think the challenge part that Sakin, that you pointed out, someone said friction and challenge. I think challenge is the bigger one out of all of it.
Yeah.
Friction. Yeah. I mean, I've played. Look at Final Fantasy, for crying out loud. There's like zero friction. There's like zero friction between players outside of like, that was my drop.
Yeah.
We'll kick you from the group. I wanted that. I won that fair and square. Why'd you take it? That type of stuff.
I think the comment, I don't know if you read it, Vertec, it says friction and challenge that require real cooperation to overcome is key for that nostalgic MMO feel. However, companies realize that their player base will be significantly smaller if they have that type of friction in their games. So,
Yeah.
and
Like,
I mean, Sakin's other point is, like, in these older games, your reputation was everything. I mean, going back to the early World of Warcraft, like, and YouTube video times, like, I remember, I forgot their name, but I remember them because they made videos all the time. Like the Rafflemount, like those guys, like, I loved their content, and like, that makes a name for you. Sure, because you're making content, but also I imagine there's notoriety inside of like the gaming community as well at that point. Go ahead, Bean.
I was just gonna say, I think that goes back to sort of what I was trying to get at. Now I remember the words I was looking for. MMOs used to be niche, and I don't mean that as in like, oh, not everybody knew about them. A lot of people did know about them, right? Because while I've never played WoW, I've known it's existed my entire gaming life, right?
Yeah.
But it used to be something where your reputation did matter. It was very specific people that you saw all the time that became very big and all of those things. And now you're like, oh, let me get into this space. And there are 30 content creators at your the tips of your fingers to follow and interact with. It also, with it being more niche, like, you remember somebody because you're like, oh, I've seen that character model. I know their name. It's at the tip of my tongue, but you know who they are, and they act accordingly, right?
Yeah.
Because if they don't, people call them out for it. I also think with the corporatization of gaming in general, there is such a thing where, and I was having this conversation with another streamer that plays games. My accent, I'm so sorry. That
It's okay.
There is a thing where a company, especially if they are like a AAA studio or somebody with a lot of money, goes, how do we get those people over there to play this game? And they're ignoring the people that want to play their game. Like, how do we get the Fortnite and the WoW people to play our game? That's what we have to live to. And it's like, they're not leaving that. That's their game. Instead of looking at the people that want to play their game in front of them.
Cement your audience. That way they're not leaving. And if their friends want to play with them, they're going to have to come to that game, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Or I think you were saying something.
There was some other things I was thinking about with like olden days of MMOs, the early days. I remember back playing old school RuneScape, which at the time was just called RuneScape 2. Where most of the players were like high school kids, where the population was just kids in high school. They had less money, so you know, I didn't see like, so all the free worlds were all egregiously populated because it was a free game. It was something you and your friends could go and play after school or do this, do that. There is, and the big thing that's, and like even Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2's a like 13-year-old MMO. 13 years ago, Twitch was like a big thing like at that time, but it still had a lot of the social things still, because social media at the time hadn't grabbed the next generation. It still, which social media really did play such a big part in the changing of mindsets. And I'm not saying, oh, this is Omega bad, you know, social media is evil, even though I am saying that. But a lot of the changes to MMOs came about with the advent of social media, where
Yeah.
we don't have the old need of social as more difficult. Like there's more, the online space is like MMOs used to just be chat rooms with a game attached to them.
Yeah.
Now they need to be a game first, and the chat room portion is taken up elsewhere. It's like, oh, why do you do anything if like Discord's gonna happen? Even in like Ashes, where it's like, you know, your reputation is huge, it like there's still many there was still many bypasses where it's like you could go and be somebody notable and still move around like the shadows. There were like I knew so many people who were like notable streamers who had alt accounts that no one knew the name of the characters. Like it wasn't on their regular account at all. So even when they logged in on stream, you didn't know that character existed. They just had two accounts so they could go and like walk around stealth. And it's like, that happened in the past too. It's like, oh yeah, your reputation matters until you go and just create a brand new free account to move on.
Yeah. Sagan says, I made fun of my cousin for playing Final Fantasy 11, but after I tried it, I found out that I could escape real life and live in a world, and my reputation was everything. It took a massive chunk out of my life. I shamefully enjoyed it. Hey, you're among friends here. I would have never even tried it without family and friends, and it came to be the most momentous point in my gaming quote-unquote career. And I think that's really important. One thing I'm kind of doing over here on the side as I'm listening to Aura is I'm looking at, you know, truly the MMORPG genre did not begin until 1991 with Neverwinter Nights, and the first text-based MMORPG kind of presented itself in 1992, only a year later. And I believe World of Warcraft launched itself in 2004, and in that time frame, only about a 10-year difference from when the MMORPG genre began to then, it was kind of the newest tech at the time, from what I'm understanding. And I think that there's a lot of interest here with like something to be said about timing and what games were available at the time. Apparently it did pull things from EverQuest and Ultima Online and maybe Dark Ages of Camelot, but it's intriguing because you have this game that pulls systems from some of these other games and releases in a time frame in which it is optimal, right? You've got newer tech. Nobody's apparently, whatever, I didn't look too deeply into it because obviously I'm still trying to be present with you guys, but nobody has done whatever World of Warcraft did when they launched vanilla. And it's interesting to see because as I'm listening to you guys, I mean, I feel like tech has come so far, right? Yeah, like there's the niches, and it makes me think of TTRPG niches, right? You've got the people that are like dead hard D&D fans versus Pathfinder fans versus Call of Cthulhu, etc. And you've got the people that are a little bit more grifters that'll kind of try out any new system that they come across because it's interesting and it's new. And I feel it's kind of similar with the MMORPG genre, where you've got World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, Guild Wars 2, a lot of the old ones like RuneScape that are still there. And I feel like they inherently champion the intentions behind the older style MMORPG. Granted, I think World of Warcraft's done a really good job of keeping up with modern times and the adjustments. However, I think where World of Warcraft stands out is its love of memories and keeping up with the times. I mean, there's like so many different things that you can get where it's some sort of meme or joke relating to current time problems, and I really appreciate about World of Warcraft. I think it's very fun. The puns, the jokes, the memes, I love it all. But to Bean's point, I think we're not focusing on niches anymore. I mean, I think Ashes was trying to, but I think with corporate greed and watching, oh, all of these people gravitated to Baldur's Gate 3, for example. But I mean, you got the MMORPG player base, you got the TTRPG player base being pulled into Baldur's Gate 3. But I think that shows that a niche could be really important for a company. Granted, yes, you may not make as much money as if you didn't niche down. You may not make as much money as if you didn't try to appeal to more people, but you would have a much more loyal fan base if you did.
If you just make a game and actually like it, people show up. That's really what the baseline is, because there is the like niche thing, but like if you don't like the game, you as the developer don't like the game, it shows and people notice. And then they don't want to stick around because you don't like it, so why would they like it?
Exactly.
It's the McDonald's CEO eating the hamburger all over again.
Oh no.
The definition of dog fooding it.
Oh. Since a couple of you in chat like RuneScape, I wanted to go with this one next. We have Primex saying, so RuneScape has me hooked. Honestly, I never thought I would play this game, let alone write something positive about it. And if you've been in the genre for a while, you would know about RuneScape and its predatory monetization, pay to win, non-uniform art style. For most, that's enough to write off the game forever. I grew up playing World of Warcraft and some niche MMOs, never really played old school RuneScape as a kid. And I'm gonna cut down to, like, if you haven't played it before, I think now is the best time to try it. He goes into a bunch of reasons why he likes it, such as he's put in about 100 hours in the last 2.5 weeks, and some of the areas look visually impressive, and the questing experience has been great. But he said if you have other hobbies and responsibilities, it is grindy, but not as bad as old school RuneScape. There's also some efficiency guides on the wiki if you just feel like getting the most out of your time, especially if you play Iron Man. So let's chat about that. I mean, there's a reason why some of these really old MMORPGs are still around today and still beloved, I'd say.
I have a strong opinion about that post. So if you don't mind me starting.
Go for it.
I think this person is missing the forest through the trees. And I don't know who they are personally, but the statement of not as bad as OSRS tells me a lot about the understanding of what the games are trying to do, the efficiency guides. Old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, and especially RuneScape 3, are the grind. And what do I mean by that? Let's look at just old school RuneScape. You are playing a character going on an adventure. You're grinding. Is the adventure. You'll run into players, talk. It is the most natural form of an MMO, where I literally was watching anime with some friends in Discord. Some random person came up to me while I was clicking on a tree. I was like, I like your hat. And I was like, oh, cool. I did this and this quest to go get it. It was a sick quest. I did this and this. And they were like, oh, cool. Don't tell me how it ends. And I was like, nice. Okay. And then they went and ran off and did that quest. And then they whispered me later being like, I got the hat. And I was like, cool, come show me. This is somebody I never met before. They decided, they added me as a friend, went off, did a quest, came back, showed me their hat, and I was like, oh, that's sick. And they gave me like some gold and like a weapon. The weapon was weaker than anything I had, but I just threw it in my bank. I was like, cool, a trophy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like all I was doing was sitting there clicking on a tree. Like, you go and like click. All right, what's going on in this anime? Oh, cool. Click. Oh, what's going on in the anime? Oh, somebody showed up. And it was like I said, it's a chat room with a game attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's like the grind. Like I said, the grind's the journey. There is a YouTuber who is doing a series of old school RuneScape with no guides at all. no add-ons, no extensions, no overlays, no nothing, no wiki, and just playing through the game, trying to complete all the quests. And it is probably one of the most engaging series I've ever seen, because you get to see somebody actually engage with the content of a game that everybody has optimized 4 million times over.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I'm like, I love that, because I genuinely, whenever I play old school RuneScape, I'm not trying to be efficient. I'm trying to do something passive or fun or whatnot. And RuneScape, and going back to RuneScape 3 is like the over efficiented out version of it, where there's egregious microtransactions, all that, but they have made things way too easy, where even the like person who took it over, like the new CEO, is like, this game's too easy. We need to put friction back in. We need you guys to engage with it. And that's where, like, that's why I said it's like he's missing the forest for the trees.
I think I want to add real quick before Bean answers. I feel like as gamers, especially modern gamers, we tend to this was better in my head, but that's fine. We tend to efficient the game so much that we pull the gameplay out of it, right? We over efficient. I don't know what the right word is, but we look for efficiency so much that we ruin the actual intention of the gameplay sometimes.
Over optimize.
Yeah.
That too. Bean, what are your thoughts?
I've touched old school RuneScape for like 2 hours with a friend who has been playing old school RuneScape for a very long time. I was just like, I want to know about it. And so he very graciously walked me through a couple hours, and I was like, this is neat. Maybe someday I'll come back to this when I have more time. But I think the thing that always makes me feel weird about people making these comments is there's efficiency guides, or like Erwin said, the meta, and all of those things. That feels weird to me. Don't you want to play the game? Don't you want to figure it out? If you didn't want to play the game, then just watch somebody making a let's play of it. Why look it up now? I have definitely gotten stuck and have definitely looked things up because I'm like, why is this so hard? Right. To get information. I'm not saying that that's bad. And absolutely, now that it's at your disposal, please look it up. Please try to figure out a thing, because you might find, hey, there's a really cool mage build I'd love to do. But the thing is, like, why are you trying to play a game and then follow it up with, I'm just gonna look up efficiency guides or how to make the most meta fighter I can in order to play the game? To me, that feels like you never actually wanted to play the game. If that's the first thing you do.
I kind of have a counterpoint to that, just because I actually have met one of those people, and I actually asked them why, and they were saying they preferred looking up a meta so that they didn't have to think about that part of the game, because they liked the other parts of the game more. So just by following a meta, they could at least set up everything so they didn't have to worry about it, and they knew it would like be able to keep them pretty like protected or being able to defeat things. And that's typically why they preferred that. But eventually later on in the end game, they would kind of end up toying with their skills and stuff later.
All right, that's different. And I can respect that, because I also don't like thinking about certain things in games. Fully understand. Yes. And I have to say, like, I can't say this from an MMO perspective, because I really don't have a lot of that under my belt. Listen, Erwin, I don't know if you can listen to how I sound. I'm sick. I'm a sick bean.
Yes.
But so I can't speak it for that. It is just the people that kind of like get on my nerves, as they're like, yeah, this new game is coming out in like a month. somebody that already got it as a streamer, I'm watching them min-max it so that way I can just go into the game min-maxing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but didn't you want to play the game? Isn't that why
Yeah.
you're excited? If you just
Yeah.
wanted to min-max it, just watch the person min-maxing it.
Yeah.
Why do you have to
And
play it?
I think that's the point that I was trying to make about optimizing the fun out of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Vertec, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of in that middle ground where like there's certain portions of every game out there that just aren't as enjoyable as others. Looking at you dailies for reputation to be able to get the things you want to get. I will absolutely, without thinking twice, I will look up somebody's guide on dailies on the best route to take to just get it over with. Just end the pain for the day. Do my dailies for the 3 different freaking nations that want me to spend time at their home cleaning their house. And I'm going to go do that. And then I'm going to move on with my day and get back to the fun stuff. But yeah, for the most part, like I'll only look up something if I'm having just a pain in the ass time trying to figure something out. Like, I know this is a puzzle here. I know there's a puzzle here because it's obviously the beginning and then the middle of a puzzle. I've unlocked something. I just can't figure out where to go. And I've spent 6 hours on this. Please, somebody give me the next
My character has a
clue.
high-end stat. My character has a high-end stat. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm
don't.
doing.
Yeah,
Too many of those spicy
exactly.
beverages everyone's talking about. But yeah, like I just need the next clue, man. And so I'll absolutely look up a guide for something like that. But yeah, for the most part, I want to figure it out. I mean, even if I just sit down and I start talking with other people to try to figure out, you know, what did you do in this situation? But that's at least part of the, you know, the community aspect, right?
Community, yeah, that's the social part of it instead of just going like on a forum. Not knocking Wowhead, not knocking Wowhead or Icy Veins. I've totally used both of those. I am not knocking them. I'm just saying I'd rather ask somebody in game than go to those.
Fun.
But Vertec, I wanted to add, like, the only dailies or grinds that I actually really liked within World of Warcraft in terms of I forgot what you were saying, but it's kind of like grinding out that friendship level, if you will. Yeah, reputation. There we go. There's 2 grinds that I really like. There's the one that is in, I forgot where it was. It's in a nice jungle tropical area, and you can raise a baby raptor into literally your mount. I love that quest. That is the only daily grind type of quest, and I would be happy to do because the hard work comes out to something. Like, you actually benefit from something at the end of it, and I love that so much. And then the other one is like something nifty at the end of it, right? Like, you get some sort of dragon egg that you get to hatch, and then now you have a dragon mount or something like that, just because you got this reputation up. And I think those are the 2 kind of examples of when I feel like the reputation kind of matters. But when everybody has a reputation, it gets overwhelming. So making it more strategic in terms of which things have reputation that you have to focus on versus everything having a reputation. Because I feel like it just, at that point, it becomes decision paralysis of like, oh God, too much to choose from. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm just going to skip the whole thing.
Yeah. But also to kind of circle back to the post about RuneScape and how it's you know, grindy but not as bad as OSRS.
Yeah.
That's one thing that will turn me off of a game quicker than almost anything else, honestly, is if it's literally designed to be a grind. That's why I, after placing my tier list and putting Quinfall on there at like, I think it was like a B or a C or something, I immediately wanted to downgrade it further when I watched a video today of Theory Forge covering it, and he was like, yeah, it's a grind. You basically go to one area, you kill a bunch of stuff until you level, and then you go to another area that looks and feels the same. It's just you go from wolves to zombies in a graveyard, but it's basically the same stuff, and you just kill more things until you level. And I immediately said, okay, so Quinfall is not for me at all.
Yeah.
I really despise games that are just a grind. Give me something interesting.
We're being
to do.
demanded to drink right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Hey, thank you, Fred.
Cheers.
Yeah, give me
Drink
interesting
water
stuff to
along
do.
with us if you want.
I shall give my emote.
Let's hear
Cheers
it.
of water.
I'll do
I
both.
don't have my model anymore that has my
Aw.
sign on it. Redrawing it, so.
I haven't finished paying for the motions for this thing.
Fair.
It's an investment.
Yeah, and I think that's why some of these are also ranked a little lower. Like, I don't get me wrong, because Aura, what you said is very like it's a very good point. I do appreciate the journey and not the destination, but the journey doesn't need to be like 5,000 bears.
Yeah,
No,
if the
I want to
journey
be clear.
if the journey is getting on the highway and hitting cruise control and staring at the road, it's not as interesting as having a bunch of stops and turns and other things you got to do along the way. Hit a restaurant or 3 along the way and just enjoy
Ooh,
a
what's
quick
that?
snack
Off
with
in the
people.
distance. That looks interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I fully agree. Like OSRS is an example I use of a good grind. There are the go hit cruise control areas, but there are also areas where you can engage with the skills and there's always exceptions to every rule, but it's not sit there for 14 million years and grind. There is engaging ways to do each of the grinds. BDO is probably the other example I use as an engaging grind, and it's a egregious grindy game. I have memories of sitting in one area doing laps, but the thing is like it wasn't like a set rotation. It was I had to go and pick and choose the skills for the motions. People would come up and fight me and things like that. So it wasn't like, all I get to do is sit there and cruise control. Every now and again, somebody would show up and accidentally get killed in my attack. So I had to use 2 attacks to make sure they actually died.
Mhm.
And to be fair, I was overpowered at the time in the game, but that was like rare, not the norm for players. Like if you I remember on my first character in BDO, I was grinding in an area, somebody would overtake me, and I'd duel them, and then I'd be like, all right, fighting for 5 minutes, and then I'm dead on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, but that's like a good grind, and it's like I engaged them, I lost, and I lost my grinding zone, and now I have to go to a worse grinding zone and possibly fight to go kick that person out, and go fight to kick that person. And if you win, you get to keep the spot, or if you can outgrind the person, and it becomes a contest of speed where it's like, can you move and kill things faster than the other person? And it was that's a lot more fun than to sit there. It's like, all right, I'm gonna sit here and just click this button every so often. I do an AoE. Everybody else go gather stuff up. I'm gonna stay here and just nuke the things as they show up. And I've played those. There was an MMO I played back when I was in school. I had a laptop that the school provided me, and I secretly installed the MMO onto it. So I had a second computer so I could play an alt account. And I just took a weighted object, pushed down the auto heal button. My healer just chased my character around, and I just walked around. I walked up to a group of mass respawning enemies. I turned on the auto retaliate and turned on the
I think I walked
big
into
AoE
Vertex
spell,
doing
and-
something like that in Guild Wars 2 too.
What was
Guild
that?
Wars 2, you can get banned for doing it now.
Oh, well, you had all your minions out, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
you're
That's because
working
I was
and fighting things at the same time. What the heck? And you're like, yeah, look at all my minions. They're just killing things for me.
Yeah, I was a necromancer. Yeah. So I was able to just kind of turn around and summon some things and fight some stuff real quick and let them finish it off while I go back to doing other stuff.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. AFK farming in Guild Wars was actually a very bad problem for a while, where it became a fully bannable offense at some point, and it's finally starting to clear up. You had literal newbie zones where you had 13 people stacked on top of each other just spamming an attack over and over and over again, making it where the new players literally could not engage with the content. So you know what I did? I just walked over champions and had them, and then just stealthed up and walked away.
Oh my god.
They were dead on the ground, and it was always very, very funny.
Loudy. But yeah, the talk of grindy games reminded me of an old story I could share real quick. But I think after that we might be tapping out. But yeah. So speaking of grindy games, it made me think of the old Silk Road Online.
Oh my god, that's like a game I haven't heard the name of in a while.
Yeah, that one was really bad with the just random repetitious quests, where it was like go out and every time I bring up the example of go out and fight 100 tigers, okay, now bring me back 50 claws, okay, now bring me back 50 pelts, and all of tigers fighting the same things. It was literally that game. That game, I literally hit that sequence of quests about 5 times with 5 different creatures, almost in a row. But the funny part is that I played that one when it was really early on, and then I hadn't played it for a while, and somebody was talking about Bitcoin and talking about how you could earn some on the Silk Road, and I was like, wait, what? I don't remember that at all. That's crazy. And they asked me, hey, did you end up playing that? Yeah, and I talked about how it was tricky, and I got kind of tired of the grind and this and that and the other, and then I found out not long after that they were talking about like the darknet Silk Road.
Oh.
So we had like a whole conversation where neither one of us was speaking the same language, but it was probably about a 15-minute conversation, and I was talking about how I was grinding on that for a while. I couldn't really get anywhere. Kept doing the same stuff over and over. I didn't really feel like I was getting ahead. And yeah, he's talking about a darknet crime network.
That's crazy.
Honestly, Silk Road was an interesting game. I just remember playing a nuker build and killing everything in one shot to the end game. I don't remember ever having a challenge, but I also had a friend that gave me the build, so I don't know about anything.
I remember playing an archer and everything would just die as soon as I pointed at it and shot.
Yeah.
But I had to kill so many of the things.
Oh yeah, it's always egregious in the older MMOs back then, because they didn't have much thought of content.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that I skipped over in terms of not content, but yeah, I guess content I had planned out was just people talking about like how is Dofus and the Monsters and Memories beta is out, and wondering what people think about that, as well as somebody really likes Quinfall, and someone else is asking if Lord of the Rings Online is dead or still worth playing. And one thing I wanted to add real quick from our community is someone had mentioned, I think it was Lev, being interested in joining us for this journey, but more so if there's somebody who could come along to give us like an interactive first-time user experience versus just having to do it solo. So if that's something that's interesting to you, let us know. I think Vertec, you and I are intending on giving out our top 5 to 7 games like soon, so that way people can kind of know what to expect from us in terms of a game plan, if you will. But if any of those end up being ones that you've played and want to give us a interactive first-time user experience in when we go to jump into those, we would love to have you guys. And if you also, let's say you primarily play World of Warcraft or ESO, and you want to come on and you want to talk to us about that game, I'd love to have you on as a guest as well for whatever month that would be. So just keep that in mind, I guess. Keep an eye out. And our goal is to be able to share what our game plan is behind which MMOs we're going to tackle, and ideally in order in which we're trying to do it.
Yeah, depending on the games, it's going to be between 5 and 7. Depends.
Yeah.
Really. There might be a couple games in there where we're just dipping our toes in just out of curiosity, more than thinking we would actually find a permanent home there. Like just saying Mithril. It doesn't look like a forever home game, but it does look like it'd be a blast to experience for a quick minute.
I feel like I would just jump in that for you, but I ranked Mithril much lower on my tier.
You did.
So.
But anywho, would Small Bean, would you have anything to say? Do you have any last words?
I feel like that was mildly threatening, But I will say this, that I don't think I got to say with everything that happened with Ashes, because I got very busy in personal life. I wasn't able to really get it out to a lot of the people that I met and wanted to touch base with. I love the fact that I decided to step into the MMO community, and I'm very thankful that it was you all that I met, even some of the people out in the audience that I get to play with a little bit. Because I think I would have probably not stuck around otherwise. MMOs really aren't my thing. I'm more of a cozy gamer and an RPG player. Or as I like to call it, 4 dudes doing something for hope and $4.
Friend swap.
Well, there's those too. But I'm very thankful that this is the place I landed in. Of all places I could have been. And I thank all of you for being gracious all the time.
Yeah,
Well,
of course.
You're welcome to stay here as long as you wish. We like having you around.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I told her last night in our D&D game, like, you're not allowed to not be my friend anymore.
It's actually me out. She said 2 knots, and I only heard one of them, and I was like, so we're not friends anymore?
Not friends anymore.
I was like, no. You're not allowed to not be my friend. Like, that's it.
It's because you left her to deal with that frog on her own. That's crazy.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
crazy.
Can't believe you did that.
Rude. What about you, Aura?
My closing thoughts. Honestly, I am glad I found Ashes. I overall, by the end, really didn't enjoy what it was becoming and what it was. Well, and that's personal preference. But the community that I found between Jamie and you guys, and so many others, that I could spend time here listening for an hour of all the friends I've made. It was an amazing thing. Honestly, like Chibi and Vertec are amazing people to talk to. For the few bits the few times I get to before becoming Chibi's mod, and then Chibi, decided to go and lock me in a cage, put me to work. But for realsies, honestly, it's being on topic for a second. I think the MMO community is one that ages out and does not stay forever. And when you realize that, you understand why eventually everybody picks one and slowly just stays there. And trying to find a home becomes harder and harder. And eventually you just default to, I'm going to go play RuneScape, I'm going to go play Guild Wars 2, I'm going to go play World of Warcraft, I'm going to go play MapleStory, etc., etc. And why all these old ancient MMOs still stick around is because people, they have so much content that it's like, well, I haven't played WoW in 5 years, there's a ton of content, I'll go make a new character, start over. Or, I haven't played Guild Wars since Path of Fire, I'll just start a new character. You're up, I'll do all the content over, and oops, there goes 600 hours of content. Or go play one of those shitty free MMOs. Pardon my French. But go play one of those old MMOs that are egregiously pay to win, and try to win. I had, back when I was first playing MMOs, I was poor. I was a high school student. I had no money. I had no credit card. How was I supposed to go and get, all these fancy pay-to-win things? I grinded. I big bargained and plead my way through. I learned the art of the deal as a high school kid, because it was that or I was gonna never have anything. And that's where this day and age, it's like I keep saying, MMOs are a chat room with a game attached. Once you realize that, you kind of just look for the type of community you want, and eventually, the game can kind of be secondary.
Yeah.
Or look for the game you want and hope the chat room's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fair. For my last thoughts while I get the raid prepped up, I think MMORPGs hold a very special space in a lot of our hearts. And for those that aren't really common to MMORPGs, like, I don't know, I see a lot of parallels with the TTRPG space as well. And I'm going to be honest, D&D is the reason why I got into World of Warcraft at all. And I would have never touched World of Warcraft if I had never even tried like a TTRPG first. And I think that there's a lot of fun that you can do in a social environment, but I don't know. I'm a little bit sad that games don't feel like they're being made the same that older games have been feeling, but kind of to Aura's point, I think that some of the newer games don't have the content that the older games have. And again, we like to optimize the fun out of our games, and you burn through the content in a matter of 2 weeks and then you're bored. But one other thing I wanted to mention is I'm going to have my Cozy Quest tomorrow. I actually have been trying to figure out what to do with that, so I'm going to be asking the subscribers after this what to do, but some of the intention is to delve into some TTRPGs eventually, as well as some cozy indie games. And I think one of them that was on this tier list is actually going to be something we're going to delve into as well. I think Spirit Vale is what it was called. And so I'm excited for that journey. However, I would like to alert everybody that in the US tonight is the fast forward time. So I might be a little late getting on. If I don't feel like I can get up in time, it might be a little delayed. I just want to tell you that because I like my sleep. So it'll suddenly be like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'll be like, no.
I appreciate the reminder because I had forgotten myself, but
Yeah. I know it's horrible news.
Emoji.
I just need you to know if I'm late, it's not that I forgot, it's that I just wanted some more sleep, man. But I do intend to raid over to Thogli, who is playing World of Warcraft, the day 1 of Midnight expansion for him. But Vertec, do you have any last words while I get that prepped?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're started pretty well on our journey to try to find a new home. We still have the actual adventure part of it to do, right? We're kind of putting together the roadmap right now, and hopefully by Monday, Tuesday, we'll have something like a battle plan to actually talk about doing. And really start to try to dive in there. Try to make a battle plan, see who's coming with us. That way we can, when we jump into some of these games, just know that there's going to be a certain amount of time until basically everybody says that it's time to move on, or we hit, say, a month, or...
Yeah.
When we feel like when we feel like we can actually make a decision on if it's good, bad, or indifferent, then we'll dip out.
And please don't feel pressure to join us on these. This is one that we intended to be a watch us go through this if you don't want to, take the time yourself. And who knows, maybe you'll find your next favorite game along the way.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be annoying in every single one of those. I'm gonna appear, but I'm not. I'm gonna just. I'm just gonna show up, say hi in game, join your party, and just scale all the adventures.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna help in the fight. I'm just gonna be there to help raise the difficulty for you.
Okay.
I like it. But it's gonna be fun. Who knows what's on the horizon after we test these? Who knows what comes out, right? May say they announced theirs and it's coming out in 2028. Oh.
If it's out before 2030, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, same. But either way, join us on the journey. At least watching, observing, check it out. As always, though, for today, just know that we do appreciate your time. It's your most valuable resource. You spent it here watching us talk about doing things rather than doing things yourself. So we appreciate it. You can earn it once, you spend it once. It's gone forever. You spent it here, so just know that we hope it's worthwhile. If it wasn't, sorry, no refunds.
No, but we can give them receipts.
We can indeed. We'll catch you around next time, folks. Take care.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.